Hi ladies, Sophie from SV Sports Therapy here. Happy Friday the 12th of February. I hope you're all having a wonderful week. Would love to share some information with you about how your glute muscles in your buttocks are connected to your knees, and how when you have knee pain, when you come to see us in clinic, we will often show you some glute exercises to strengthen your buttocks, as that also strengthens your knees. Your knees, in essence, they can't strengthen without stripping back and going to your glute muscles. So would love to show you a few variations of the bridge exercise this afternoon. So I've grabbed a band as well. I'm sure some of you will have some resistance bands at home. And I want to go through with you the actual feeling of doing a glute bridge. I'm sure many of us that have been to Pilates or yoga or exercise classes are very familiar with glute bridges. Especially in a circuit-based class, you do them quite fast and quite repetitively, and you don't actually have that mind-muscle connection with the glutes and thinking, what am I actually meant to be doing here? So today we're going to strip back an actual 101 dummy of how to do a glute bridge to help strengthen your knees. I've got a new tripod this afternoon, so bear with me, and hopefully we can get some right angles. So I'm going to point you down here, and first of all we're going to do it without the band. Okay, I just want to show you just how simple it is to get a real good glute contraction, just body weight, without having to use anything else. Okay, so I'm going to come side on here. So glute bridge, you want to have a neutral spine in your back. So try not to have the arch in the lower back. Keep your lower back in contact with the floor. I might do it this way actually. Okay, now imagine that £50 note in between the buttocks. I often talk about this. Squeeze both buttocks to pick up the £50 note. So you should feel your buttocks firm and then relax. Squeeze the £50 note and then relax it. You want your hip, knee and ankle in alignment with each other. We don't want the knees flared, and we don't want the knees close together when we're doing this exercise. So find out where your hip is, then your knee and then your ankle, and pop them. I always talk about tram lines as well, like a train track. Okay, so squeeze the £50 note and then lift the buttocks off the floor up onto shoulder blades. Really keep that glute contraction. Put your body weight through both heels. So if you feel that one side's dropping down, you could use your hands to try and get yourself even here. I also talk about a spirit level. Imagine you've got a spirit level here. You want the bubble in the middle of the spirit level. Otherwise, you're going to have one hip higher or lower than the other, and that will show you that maybe there's one side that's weaker than the other. So let's recap. Neutral spine, squeeze the buttocks to start with, lift the buttocks off the floor, nice glute contraction, keep that there the whole time, and then lower yourself down. Once the buttocks are on the floor, then you can release the contraction. Again, squeeze the glutes, lift up into a glute bridge, keep the glute contraction there, and then slowly lower down. When you're going up into glute bridge, try and push the knees out ever so slightly, because they'll have a tendency to come in. Sorry, I know the camera's not at a great angle today. Maybe I'll do that sort of position. So when you're squeezing up into glute bridge, imagine there's my hand on the side of your knee. Just lightly push the knee outwards slightly. Okay. Variation of that is to grab your band and pop your band just above the kneecaps. Going into the glute bridge, squeeze the glutes, lift up, and now this will help to track the knees better, because now you've got the resistance of the band. So push the knees out slightly in the band without flaring too much. That's another variation of a glute bridge, and then slowly lower down. Okay. The key here is to really keep the glutes contracted all the way up and all the way down. A lot of the times when you do a glute bridge, you'll just lower the buttocks down to the floor and not actually think about keeping the glutes contracted. think about how the body's actually doing the movement. If you were to program this in a computer, what would you have to tell the computer to do? Exactly the same as the muscles and the brain. Remember, most of us sit on our buttocks for a living and pretty much throughout the day. So the buttock muscles become more dormant, and then you go to do an exercise class, you go for a walk or a jog walk or a small run, and then often we'll get knee pain, or you do step ups and lunges, burpees, jumping jacks, and then we'll get often outside knee pain or underneath kneecap pain, and it's often due to the tracking of the kneecap that's causing the problem. Strengthening the glutes has a direct relationship with knee health. So try some glute bridges. How many sets and reps? I would say some slow repetitions, aim for 8 to 10. Have a rest and repeat that 3 times. This is a great activation exercise as well. An activation exercise is when you're prepping the body to do something. Slightly different to a warm-up. When you're stretching the muscle, we're actually activating. Think about preheating the oven before you put the lasagna in. You're creating that thermal energy in the oven before you're heating and cooking the food. Very similar with the body. We're activating the glutes, the mind-muscle connection from the brain to the buttocks to say, hey, wake up. You've been asleep for 8 hours, or you've been sitting on me for the last 10 hours behind the computer. Now I need you to activate, getting ready for my 6 p.m. AbFab Fit Club class. So that's your glute bridges. Aim for 8 to 10, three sets. Do 8 to 10, have a rest for a few minutes. 8 to 10 again, rest, 8 to 10 again, especially as an activation. So that's Sophie from SV Sports Therapy. Give us a call, an email, reach out to us on the Facebook page here or on other platforms. We're here to serve you during the 3rd lockdown. Would love to connect with you all, and don't suffer in silence if you're suffering from an injury, and especially you're part of AbFab at the moment but you're not joining in the sessions because you're injured. Don't suffer in silence. Pick up the phone, and would love to have an informal chat with you. Have a wonderful Friday. I hope you get some nice steps in over the weekend, and I'll see you next Friday for some more knee tips. Bye for now, ladies. Bye.